Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. Today is Friday, August 14th. Sorry for kind of the late start here this morning. I will get into explaining why we're looking at my old stream format here. I've been having kind of a crazy evening and crazy morning, and I'll kind of explain to you guys why. And I was actually just taking a look here. We had our prior day high here at the 32.72. I might be looking to see, this might be a trade here for me, so I'm gonna see if I can get this guy ready here. I might be taking a short here. Yep, I'm gonna take a short there, and I'll pop this guy back up here. Hopefully we don't have to come back up here and sweep some liquidity, but we'll see. See if we can get a nice little move down from this liquidity. This is our prior day high here at the 32.72. So we will, I'll see if I can capitalize there on a nice little push to the downside there. And as far as why you're looking at the old format here, well, pretty simple. I did do an update. I did a beta update on my deep charts platform. And it to get that new kind of GEX levels, the options levels that they've been advertising on YouTube pretty strongly. And well, once I did the update, I was able to see the levels, which was great, but I for some reason lost everything with my trade copier. So my trade copier is having some issues, so I need to actually revert back to what they call stable version. I might have jumped the gun a little bit there on doing this update here, but with that being said, without my trade copier on deep charts, I switched over to the old layout, the old format here, and I believe everything is up to date. I haven't used this layout in about 3 or 4 weeks, and so I think Tradeify 40% off, Lucid 30, and I believe Apex should be still at 90. So I think everything is updated. The P&L that you're seeing, this is going to be one cash account here, my Ninja Trader Brokerage live cash account. And the nice thing is that if we get a good day today here, you guys can see some really nice profits, 25%. I am trading everything on E-minis here today, so we should see a pretty decent profit and loss if we can get some price action to cooperate. We obviously had what I consider to be a really nice day in the market yesterday. We actually had some direction, was able to catch a really nice trade, posted that on X. I actually posted the actual live trade on my X account. Ended up, I think, taking about $690 P&L on that one trade, which was awesome. And again, this play up here was pretty much just was pretty simple. It was prior day high sitting at the 32.72. I did get my delta flip, which is exactly what I'm looking for, a red footprint candle with positive delta down here. So that was my sign to take a short there. But hopefully the market doesn't just want to continue to rip from yesterday's level. But we'll see if we can kind of come back down here into the range and see if we can't bag some nice profits here. Code word for Cash Profit Friday is cash. All you got to do is type in cash into the chat, and that'll enter you into win. Drawing will be at 10:30 a.m. Central Time this morning. Please make sure that if you do enter, that you do have either PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle as a method to receive cash. If you don't, please don't bother in putting your name into the giveaway, because that's the only 3 options that I have to send cash. So hopefully we got a little bit of follow through here on this move to the downside here. Nice little rejection candle there too off that prior day high. Did get my delta flip in, so again, just kind of looking for some continuation down here. As far as a kind of a viable target, the 41s look really good. So 41s right here look really, really strong as well. That might be somewhere where I might want to take my TP at. So somewhere right around here. Let's see, what does that look like? Yeah, that's definitely an area that's unbalanced in the market. So I feel pretty confident that they should at least come in and test this this 40 area here. Let's see what this is at exactly. Let me see where this is at here. What's the high of that candle? 40.25, yeah. 40.75, yeah. I love our TP right there. Let's see if they balance out that 40, those 40 areas. All right, I'll take it off right there. Nice little profit right there, 425 bucks. Well, I see 420, but with commissions, 420. Nice little trade there to start the morning. And they tapped exactly where I thought they were going to tap. Well, maybe a little less. I was thinking they would tap into like the 41s. I think we got right up to the 41.25, so yeah, real nice trade. And again, pretty simple setup here. Prior day high sitting right here at the 30,272. Pretty much what I'm looking for is, well, you obviously saw it, really nice rejection candle right here. I wasn't even looking at the candlesticks at that point. The only thing I was looking at was my footprint chart. Pretty simple to spot. You know, nice price action here. Left some money on the table, of course. Could have probably banked a little bit more on that one. But Very clean price action to the upside. Wasn't really thrilled with this little consolidation here, because this is where, when you've got consolidation like this is the first kind of target that the market's going to want to come right back in and rebalance, which, you know, only gave me about a 25 point kind of really conservative target. The next best target down here would have been this key level that we had, which they ended up tagging into at the 214s. So we had the current day open was sitting right here at the 32.14. So left a little bit of money on that table, on that trade, but pretty happy with that outcome. And as I was explaining, very, very simple, really simple system that I use with my footprints. I know there's a lot of concepts with footprint charts. I'm very basic with my approach, and it works really well. You know, what I'm really looking for is identifying a key level, which we had a prior day high here. We've kind of been struggling on kind of breaking. And sorry guys, I'm just so used to deep charts now that I'm going to be fumbling around here a little bit on NinjaTrader. But this was our high here from yesterday. And again, a lot of liquidity, a lot of buying liquidity that came into the market yesterday. I've been saying how balanced the markets have been the last 3 days of the market. Ended up yesterday, told my Signal members that I would not be trading in cash yesterday, just because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was a real struggle for me. I mean, it was a really struggle for me with the price action that we were seeing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I've pretty much, you know, it's been echoed throughout all of the socials that you look at or any of the YouTubes. Majority of the traders were struggling, not to say all of them were, but I ended up going break even on Tuesday, which for me was a nice kind of fight back. I think I took about $175 loss on Monday. And then Wednesday was not a good day of trading. I think it was down, I think $300 on Wednesday. And then Thursday, yesterday, once I saw a price action break out, I had, you know, in my live trading room with my Signal members, I identified an area and I said, guys, if we can break out through here and we can kind of create new support, I think the longs are definitely in play. And again, if you're a volume-based trader, in fact, what I can do is, let me switch over here really quickly to deep charts, and let's go into here. Let's go into the 5-minute candles here really quick. I just want to show you the volume bubbles on the trade. So this was the trade from yesterday. Let me just take off the volume profile here really quickly. So this was the trade. Let me just activate my my volume bubbles. Sorry, all my settings are all different. Like I said, I updated yesterday to the new beta version of deep charts, which was a mistake on my part to have done that, but I did it because I wanted to see the new like options levels that they're talking about. So, you know, we had an area, you know what? Honestly, it looks better on the 1 minute. I think I'm going to explain it to you guys easier on the 1 minute. So give me 1 second. Let me just, let me pop this chart up here. So let's go to yesterday's, right after the market open. Sorry, I'm on a 1 minute, so I got to scroll here a little bit. Just a ton of volume. Look at this volume. It's so beautiful. Such a beautiful thing to see yesterday. So this was our open right down here. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Our open was somewhere, I think, right around here at 8:30. Obviously, you can see can see all of the buying volume that came in on that huge leg to the upside. We then started to consolidate, okay, which I said, okay, let's see if they accept price here. We then had another move to the upside, consolidated, and then this is where I really started to get interested in a long. And once we saw this consolidation here, I said, okay, if we can break out one more time from this area, this market's definitely got some much higher targets above us. And we had a lot of prior weekly highs sitting above us, so there was a good amount of liquidity there to target. Then once we got this breakout right here, let's see if I can kind of, yeah, there you go, this will look better. Once I saw sellers trying to prevent the market from coming in, I saw this big, really nice, strong candle right here with a lot of buying pressure coming in above it. I already said to my group, this is where we want to take a look for a long. We then saw a huge amount of volume coming in right here, right here. And what I ended up doing is I ended up taking a long, I took 2 positions, 5 contracts here, 5 contracts here. So I was in my total position, which my average price was right around here. And I was in for 10 contracts, and I rode this sucker all the way up. It was about an $825 trade. So really nice trade, really nice setup. And again, good price action, which is the most important thing. The price action is what I was obviously the most excited about yesterday. And I hope we continue that today. And so far the morning has been, you know, a little choppy here this morning, but then we finally got some nice moves to the upside. And then I was able to capitalize on this early morning trade right here at the, again, prior day open. You can see the rejection candle here on the candlesticks. I personally saw it again on the footprint chart. Got a great entry there as well. Down footprint candle. So all this is saying is, all this is telling me is you could see the positive delta that occurred on this down candle, right? So you can see already that buyers stepping in, buying pressure coming in here, 54 buy contracts coming in here on the aggressive side. So they were hitting the ask here in the market. I knew that there was going to be some liquidity that was sitting up here because this was the prior day high from yesterday. And based on all of that volume that was coming in on the buy side yesterday, I knew once we got a pivot, which is what your prior day high really is, it becomes a pivot. And I knew that there would probably be some stops sitting up there. So what I asked for would be just a clean move to the upside, which is what we got. Most importantly, buyers continued to try to get this market to move to the upside. This is a combination of stops and a combination of buyers here trying to attempt to get this market to come up. Even with all of that buying pressure that came in on that positive delta, we still closed the footprint as a down candle. So that's why you got a red footprint candle here. My entry was actually pretty perfect. It was right at the bottom of this footprint. Stop loss sits right above, so I had about 16 points of stop. Each one of these candles is it's a 60 range footprint. So just think of a 60 range chart. Each box here is 60 ticks or 15 points, however you want to look at it. And that's what my risk profile is going to look like. So it's going to be between 15 and 16, depending on where my entry was at. And rode this one down. And again, I was able to spot where the liquidity was sitting down below on this move right here. Maybe a little bit conservative. But again, I'm on higher position size. These are all E-minis that I'm going to be trading on here today. This is a live cash account that you're seeing. So this is not, none of the P&L that you're seeing is on prop. So good start to the morning for sure. right, give me 1 second, guys, and we'll go over some of the other trade ideas I got for the morning. All right, guys, so let's we'll kind of take a look here and see what other options we might have here this morning. We've got obviously overnight open is sitting right down here at the 3214s. Again, they just swept that here this morning, so I'm not really interested in these levels as of right now. If we move to the downside here, we've got a nice piece of unbalanced volume here. Sorry, I don't have the labels on NinjaTrader. I do not have the labels on these horizontal bars. It's kind of a pain in the ass. That's why I really, really like deep charts, even though I'm not too happy with their update. But let me just pop in some levels in here so you guys can see that a little better. So we've got weekly. This is all buyers, so this is pretty much from that pretty aggressive move that we had yesterday. So we've got a weekly band sitting here at the 30,037 down to the 29,994. I'm going to be very interested in this area right here. So I'm going to be interested in the 30,016.50 to the 30,088. I will be entering in here with a limit order. So this will be a nice little trade setup here if price action can come down here this morning. And then I believe below us, really all we still have this weekly band. Again, this is all dominated here by buyers. A lot of volume sitting right here. And that's from the 29,913 to the 29,862. And then we've got our prior day low that's sitting down here at the 29,780. This is really the only level, if we can get down here, that I would be interested in trading this morning on the daily levels. Again, I don't anticipate price action coming in here. The reason why I say that is if we kind of retrace back to the move from yesterday, look at the volume. I mean, the volume was insane that came in on all of these legs to the upside. Okay, it was very impressive to watch. We haven't seen this in the markets here for about 4 or 5 trading days. So again, for the sellers, just to kind of stroll into this market and make a push all the way to that initial push from yesterday, to me seems very unlikely. In fact, I would not be surprised if we don't see another leg to the upside here at the open. We do have a piece of news here that's coming out. We have U.S. retail sales coming out at 7:30 this morning, which it's about 2 more minutes here. We'll see what U.S. retail sales look like. And then we've got University of Michigan sentiment at 9 a.m. this morning. Parth, extremely well. So Parth had a great question. He said, how's ACT's strategy going? Well, first of all, it's AVT. It's not ACT. We're not taking ACT exam over here. So the AVT. Well, the AVT, it's very simple. Okay, what do we think this is right here? This is your AVT method here in action. And I want to say, Rob, what are you talking about? Well, no problem. We'll switch over here to our 120 range footprint chart. We will go to the area that I have identified here that I'm interested in unbalanced volume. What do we see here? Do we not see the AVT setup right here? Exactly how it's taught. You've got your impulsive move to the upside, right? You've got your break of structure right here. And now all I've done is just gone down to the lower ranges and really identify this area right here at the 30.016 to the 30.008. This setup would look exactly like this. You take your base of your candle right here. You go all the way up. You want a minimum of 3. You would like to stay 3 to 5 max, but I'm willing to go up to 7 if I have to. This is 3 legs to the ups. I'm sorry. This is 6 120 range boxes to the upside. So 1 more than normal, but you can see how beautiful this price action is. Very little retracements here. This is textbook. It's a textbook AVT strategy here. And this is exactly where, I mean, every single setup that I take is based off the AVT. There's nothing else in my strategy. It's actually pretty simple. It's pretty simple. You learn the AVT, you can learn how to trade it how I do. If you want. Now, the trade that I took here this morning was not AVT. This was purely based on liquidity that's sitting up here at the prior day high, getting my footprint confirmation with absorption, and well, it's a mixture of absorption and trapped buyers here, and rode that sucker to the downside. And as I mentioned early this morning, you guys have your best opportunity today to capitalize on Cash Profit Friday, because you guys scam me pretty good, since I typically do Cash Profit Friday at 25% when I've been on deep charts, because I've been trading with my Iron Beam cash account, which has roughly a $5,000 balance. So I've been trading micros. Now I'm on NinjaTrader. I'm trading my my NinjaTrader live brokerage account with E-minis. So I should have changed it back to the 5% that I usually had it set at there. But if today can be a continuation of what our early trade looked like here this morning, because if we just do simple math here, 425 at 25%. So you guys are already at $106 for the giveaway. So that's a pretty nice little chunk of change. Of course, we're going to try to add to that, but we'll see what price action allows us to do. The Niner, are any of your students actively trading the Rob reversal only? Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if you're on my Discord, but in Discord, there's many members that's all they trade is the 15-minute Rob reversal. Some of them have done some variations to it. Some of them traded on the 5-minute. I know some traders that traded on the 1-minute. If I was trading it in the 1-minute, I would definitely change my rules on. I would not be trading the 1-minute. I guess we would call it the 1-minute Rob reversal. I wouldn't be trading that much past about 10:30 Central Time. So I'd probably only be trading that for the first 2 hours of the market. And I'd also not be trading it in the first 30 minutes of the market if I was on the 1-minute. If I'm on the 15-minute, I got no issues with that. Small little update on the 15-minute Rob reversal that I haven't really posted out there because I haven't really been trading it a lot recently. And I haven't been really doing a lot of my back testing that I was so aggressively doing with the 15-minute Rob reversal. But if I pop up open here, let's just get to my website here. So I'll pop this open here for you guys. We don't need... Oh, and again, if anybody wants to get my tradable levels every Sunday, this is my weekly bands that come in on Sunday. If you just go to robstrades.com, you click on I want them, just put your name and email. You'll get one email from me every single Sunday. And it gives you all of the weekly bands and all of my tradable bands for all tradable levels for the upcoming week. But if I go into strategies here... And no, that's not what I want to do. I want to go into indicators. Okay, if I go down here, so this is a 15-minute Rob reversal. This is the strategy explained. God, I think I created this 4 years ago. Let's see when I created this. This is when I was trading upstairs. Let's see if it shows me. I don't get the details here when it was posted. I want to say this is maybe about 4 years ago that I posted this strategy here on YouTube. But this is what I wanted to kind of get at. The only update that I would make based on the last couple of months and looking at the trades, because I still look at the trades every single day to see what wins, what loses. I believe the cutoff should be taken off a little bit earlier. So I think I would limit this cutoff period to 12:45 now instead of 1:15. I have noticed that the majority of the losers that come in on the Rob reversal are happening at that 1 p.m. to 1:15 p.m. Reversal flip candle. Those seem to not really be working out much. There's been a few of them that end up closing at the market close. So once the market closes, it closes a trade out, and you kind of get those algorithms that start kicking in at around 2:30 to 3 p.m. and really makes price action a little bit unpredictable. I don't really like trading much in much past noon anyways. So the one change that I would probably make on this 15-minute Rob reversal would be is to limit the trading till 12:45 p.m. I know some people that are trading this in different time zones. So like the Asia session, the London session. I have not done back testing on that, so I could not tell you if that would be an effective strategy, but that's that. Hopefully that answered your question. Thanks, Trader 007. Yeah, you know, the website was definitely, it took me a while to kind of get it to where I want it. It's I think it's a really good, completely free resource for traders to you know, I've got all of the built-in, if you're trading the mechanical strategies that I've taught, you know, if you're on NinjaTrader, you can install the automated strategy for this that will actually take the trades for you. If you just want the indicator is also there for you. My morning oil strategy is in there as well. It explains the strategy. It's got the breakdown here of exactly what I'm looking for in those strategies. And again, you can also download the automated trader for NinjaTrader. It's completely free. And the same thing for gold. So all of those are in there. If you go to strategies, I've got my videos again, kind of nicely updated here. The only thing I have coming up, I've got one video. I'm not going to give too much of a teaser on it, but I've got one video. It's about 3/4 recorded. I've recorded multiple sessions on this one video, and it's going to be a really, really deep dive into the AVT strategy. That one I know is going to be nicely anticipated. So once I add that here to the strategies page, you'll have every single strategy that I pretty much trade every single day. How I currently trade is a combination of these three right here. So, and this is kind of in stages. I would start with this as stage one, this as stage, I'm sorry, reverse that. It's not right. This would be where I would start original levels scalping strategy. This will give you the concept. This is the second evolution, which was the addition of the volume profile. And then lastly, this is kind of the combination of both of them here into this. And then the fourth one that's going to be coming up, I can't tell you what day it's going to be because I just have a lot of things coming up here in life in general. I'm leaving tomorrow to move my son into college, so we'll be going down to Florida, and so we just got a lot of things coming up here. So I don't have an exact timeline of when that strategy will be released, but the fourth installment of this kind of volume series that I do is going to be then the culmination of everything. It's going to be everything put together nicely into I think what I would consider now to be a nicely produced video. Not to say that my earlier videos were not great, but they really weren't that great. Production quality wasn't that great, but I think in general, it wasn't necessarily about the quality. It's kind of what's being presented, I think, is the most important thing there. Jay Loves, good morning. Paul, good morning. Adam, good morning. Man Can, good morning. K2000, good morning. Deeply Thankful, good morning. Rashawn, good morning. Parth, good morning. Snow, Joyce, Bags of Cash, I love the name. Trader 007, Miss K911, Funded Pro, good morning. David Becker, good morning. Hansy, good morning. I believe Hansy might have won Cash Profit Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Barrett, good morning. Steve, good morning. Professional Day Trader, good morning. Might be intimidated by the name Professional Day Trader. Amrish, Richie Rich, love the name, good morning. SDRO, good morning. NQ Trader 5, good morning. Trade 44 Life, good morning. Think I got everybody. So what else do we have brewing here? I guess we can talk about the ES. Let's get into the ES here. So let's first start off. We got our prior day high sitting up here at the 78.38. Same concept as yesterday. I'm sorry, same concept as the NQ trade that I took this morning. Obviously, a good amount of liquidity volume sitting up there at the prior day high. Let me switch this to the 5-minute. Give me 1 sec. All right, so if we kind of take a look, again, I'm sorry, I'm kind of a little struggling here with the charts this morning, just because I'm so used to deep charts right now that just scrolling and scrunching everything on the charts is it's still feels a little foreign to me right now. So this is our prior high here from yesterday. Again, as we had a pretty nice move to the downside that occurred right around like from 10 to 11 a.m. Yesterday, during yesterday's session. Naturally, there's going to be a good amount of stops sitting up here. So, you know, on our heat map, book map, liquidity map, you're going to see a decent amount of orders that are going to still be resting up there at the 78.38s. So that is one trade idea that, you know, we can obviously work on here this morning. Would be just like how the NQ rejected off of its prior day high. ES could do the same thing here at the 78.38s. We got our current open at the 78.25. I could delete one of these guys. I don't need both of these. At the 78.25, that's sitting right there. We've got some, and again, I gotta give me a second. Let me just get these labels put in. I don't need to do that on deep charts anymore, but here I do. No, I don't like that. Let's see which one it is. I think it's this guy. There we go. It's reaction zone. So we've got a good amount of buying volume sitting here on the ES at the 78.16 to the 78.10. This would be an area where I could see the market gravitating towards here for support. Again, this is all buyer controlled down here, and should be an interesting little block here. And what else is remaining? We've got our weekly band on the ES sitting down here. At the 77.81 down to the 77.64. Only difference with this weekly band is you've got your prior day low here at the 77.64. Let me just make sure that that is our prior day low. Give me a second. Again, on deep charts, I don't really need to guess. It's already built in for it. The 77.64 is our prior day low yesterday on the ES, which is also sitting at the bottom of this band. Now, in scenarios like that, where you've got a really nice chunk of volume that's going to be sitting there, these are the bands that get a little bit tricky. One, I don't have a very detailed scalping band to trade off of within this bigger band. But more importantly, this level down here is going to act like a magnet. So the difference in this type of strategy would be let price action retrace down to here, sweep this volume, sweep this level here, and then see if we get a continuation back to the upside. Or it might sweep this level, come back up, and then you can see if it retests here and see if we can get a continuation to the downside. So a little bit more discretionary on this band for sure on the ES. Oh, one thing I wanted to check in on was let's see if there's been any update on these single stock futures. I sent an email to customer support asking for an update. Well, this is Tesla. Still not tradable. Definitely not tradable. I guess this has kind of been, let me see what Nvidia looks like. Okay, at least starting to see a little bit of data coming in. Before this, all I was seeing was just these little lines right here, which obviously these contracts are just not. Oh, this is the 15-minute. Let's see the 1-minute chart. Oof. Yeah, this is not tradable. So I think that's been kind of a huge flop for the CME. It's been a huge flop, which kind of surprising me. I thought that the single stock futures would be something that a lot of day traders would be pretty interested in. I know I was. I was trying to find where my response was here. I got a response from them about a day or two ago. Just trying to see where the hell it is. Well, can't find the email now, but pretty much says that they're still working with the CME to see what to see if they can improve like their data feed, and I believe that there's just no liquidity in there. I think we were talking about that when they were first coming out, is, you know, who takes the risk of being the market maker in those single stock futures markets in the beginning when there's very little volatility and very little demand? Who takes the risk of being the market makers? And I believe that, I don't remember where I saw it on like a YouTube video, that apparently the big problem that they had on the first week was the market makers pulled out, and they said that there's just no, you know, there's not a demand for it, or there's not liquidity for it. So it's kind of a tough thing to just kind of start off with. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you get the you know, for day traders that are trading just the equities, you know, obviously you've got the PDT rule that got removed. So I think they've opened up, and I think they had to. I think that the equities markets, in my opinion, I mean, I'm just kind of an outsider who's very interested in trading the futures, but I think the explosion in futures traders over the last 2 to 3 years has definitely had to have had an effect on the retail trading side of equities, because when you combined that PDT rule that they always implemented, and the margin requirements, the overnight margin requirements, just to me didn't make any sense, you know, why people would trade the equities over the future space. And I get it. I get why they want to target a particular company or a particular sector. But now with the addition of the single stock futures, the beauty of it, and I've mentioned it a few times on my live stream, why I think it would be such a great product is, you know, you get price action like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that was pure chop. It doesn't necessarily mean that all of the equity markets or all of the, you know, single entities in the equities are not moving. So you can have Nvidia flying on a day that the NQ is just chopping around, and you can then say, okay, well, the NQ, I've kind of realized that the NQ has been super choppy, but Nvidia's flying. Let me switch over to the single stock futures of Nvidia and let me just trade that. It's cash settlement. Your margin requirements are extremely good. They offer micro versions of the single stock futures, and well, at least that's what they anticipated. I see. Let's see the list of micros here. Yeah, right here. So these are the current lists of stocks that have the micro, because not all of them have micros, but like obviously Tesla, Nvidia, Netflix, Microsoft, Meta, Chase, Google, Amazon, AMD, Apple. All of the big names have micros that you can also trade on as well, or you could trade on the bigger like E-mini style. And the E-mini is equivalent to 100 shares of a company, and the micro is equivalent to 10 shares of the company. So I think that there would be a good niche there for day traders that are like, you know what, this market's just too choppy for me today. Let me go concentrate on a particular industry or a particular stock like Tesla and trade that. Obviously, I was looking forward to it. I thought it would have been a product that would have worked out. Yeah, so one of my Signal members says chicken or the egg problem for single stock futures maybe needs real promotion. I can't agree with you more, especially on the chicken and egg problem. It's exactly what I anticipated even before it rolled out. I think we talked about this on our live stream. Like, who takes that? I guess whoever takes the risk of being the first market maker to really step in and control that market, meaning provide liquidity for that market. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because in the beginning you might get killed. They might even get killed on their spreads, because if you don't have enough liquidity, it's kind of like a news event all time. You know, while the market's always open, it's going to be like a news event, because if you have anybody that comes in with any amount of volume contracts purchased, so like if there's, for instance, right now, again, if we pop open here Nvidia, and bump this up to like the 15 minutes, maybe we could see a chart here. So again, if you take a look at this is the Nvidia chart right now on the 15-minute, which again, untradeable, but at the same time, if you get somebody that comes in here and pops in an order for five contracts on Nvidia on the single stock, and there's zero liquidity, you're going to be you're going to move the market. You're definitely going to be moving the market. So that's a situation that market makers don't like. But I think on the pro side, if you're the first to really become the one that takes that upfront risk, if this product actually catches on by traders, they might come out looking, they might be the next Citadel. Go back to gold here. And to be honest with you, another reason why I was pretty excited about it is I have a hard time following. I have a hard time charting, Tesla and Nvidia, because I have to rely on TradingView for that. And with TradingView, I don't have the same volume tools like I do that I have in NinjaTrader or in Deep Charts. So for me, the fact that NinjaTrader was going to be able to allow you to chart Amazon and Tesla and Microsoft on NinjaTrader with all of its tools that it has, for me was like, this is awesome. This is going to be great. But it's kind of been a nothing burger. I'm gonna go refill my coffee, guys. I'll be right. see if I can pull up that. See if I can pull up that trade from yesterday. I was pretty excited with my editing skills on that one. I think I'm getting a little better at it. See if I can switch this to dark mode. It's so bright. So if you haven't started following me on X, I would appreciate if you guys can follow me on X. My username is at TraderRob Levels. At TraderRob Levels right here. This is a trade from yesterday. Let's see if I can start this over again here, so you guys can see my editing. How pretty that is. So again, I was in this position here with 10 micro contracts there, and had my target, my TP target was set at 825 bucks. Kind of walked through that trade already here early this morning, and this was in the there's my take profit there of 825. And this trade was taken with my signal members here. There you go. It's a nice little trade there.
will say sometimes I do get, I was never on Really X before I started posting, I think about 2 weeks ago. And obviously now the, I start seeing like, you know, other traders and other prop firms, and there's fucking a lot of drama, man. A lot of drama that I had no idea about. Wow, this is nuts. Oh man, you can get lost, I guess, on social media for sure. Business at the business lens. You already in profits. Do you intend to make more? Do I intend to make more? That's always my intention. Yeah. Not sure how to read that question. Are you saying you don't have faith in me making more? I have faith in myself making more. That's an early morning trade. I mean, that was, we got that trade right around 7:05? 7:05 candle. 5 minutes, 5 minutes into the stream right there. Oh, okay. Well, no. On this account, to be honest with you, the way I've been trading it, this is my NinjaTrader live brokerage account. And since I made the switch to deep charts, which I have been extremely, extremely happy with them, even though I'm not able to trade currently today. But that's mainly, I guess it's really not my fault. I mean, they offered a new service, which is their GEX levels, their options levels, that is now built into their actual charting program, which I'm super excited. I'm super excited to at least be able to share that with you guys and show you guys that, especially on my daily live show in the morning. It'd be nice to show you guys some areas of interest there. So I did their beta update for their beta version. I've been always on their they have different tiers of versions. So I think they have 3 tiers. They have the stable version, which is the one that's gone through all of the back testing and is, if you are a live trader, meaning you are trading with real cash funds, that's the one that they recommend you to trade. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Give me one sec. Sorry, so as I was mentioning, on Deep Charts, they've got a beta version and what they consider to be a stable version. Their stable version it's meant for people that are trading with a live cash account, which is what I do. But I wanted to see what the GXE levels, the deep gamma that they've been promoting on YouTube now. I kind of want to see those levels, so I ended up doing the install on that, and my trade copier went completely wonky. It won't connect to my TradeAway funded accounts, won't connect to my Blue Sky account. So I might have to just kind of revert back to, I went into Discord, and I don't know, I just didn't really have enough time. We had a whole bunch of people over. We had the family over last night for kind of my son's final send-off dinner with a bunch of friends and family. I take my son to college tomorrow, so we'll be flying out to Florida tomorrow, and we'll spend the early part of next week kind of moving him in. So just didn't have a lot of time really to put in it, and it was kind of a hasty download, I guess, on my part. So what I was getting at to answer the business lens's question, since I moved over to deep charts, I funded a cash account with $5,000 to be able to trade deep charts with a live cash account. And then I also have I've got a 50K TradeRob funded account that I trade on that. That's the trade that you saw yesterday on the X, on that X post that I just showed you of that trade that I made, the $825. That was on that account. I also have a 25K funded TradeRob account. It's very close to payout. And then I've got a 50K Lucid eval that I've been also trading. That one took a brunt of the losses this week, so I think I'm back to break even on that account. Pull up my portfolio here. Yeah, that one's at 49,913, so that's about $80 under the beginning equity. I believe last Friday that was sitting at about 50,700, somewhere around there. So the way that I've been kind of trading it, the way I've been trading NinjaTrader is that I still have a decent amount of capital and accounts that are still tied into my NinjaTrader that I obviously cannot trade on deep charts because they're TradeRob connections. Deep charts does not allow a TradeRob connection to be used on their platform. And I talked about this, I believe, last Friday. I fully understand why TradeRob doesn't do it. I think that they would cannibalize their own platform. I think the more people that actually start trading on deep charts would probably make the switch to deep charts over NinjaTrader. So if a lot of the prop firms were to say, hey, you can get a free license to deep charts if you want, I think that they would genuinely make the move. I think I've been a big proponent of NinjaTrader. I've traded the platform for 5 to 6 years now. I think the platform is great. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great, but I personally feel like it's super clunky now compared to deep charts. I think the volume profile, the volume-based tools, the footprints, the delta, it's all, and I'm not an affiliate for them. I'm not getting paid to. This is just my personal opinion on it. So I did try to be an affiliate for deep charts, and they completely blew me off. So that didn't leave a great taste in my mouth. But ultimately, my feeling is I think that the platform is really good, and it doesn't require any third-party apps to get anything done that I need in my trading, which in NinjaTrader was very different, very, very different. Like I'm missing the volume profile tool right here. I just don't have the I haven't been trading with NinjaTrader for over a month, so this is pretty basic chart that I've got currently set up here. All right, we got the market open here, so we'll kind of take a look here now at price action. Hopefully, we'll see what the market wants to do here this morning. I'm going to kind of map out my pre-level. So let's do this here. This is pre-session point of control. So I'll make this one in red. So again, on my deep charts, I'd be able to label this line here as pre-session point of control, which is sitting at the 3199.75. Value area high is going to be sitting up here. the 277s. This is value area high. We'll do this in, we'll do these in blue. That's value area high for the pre-session. And our value area low is at the 3175.50. All right, so pre-session point of control is at the 3199.75. Value area low sitting at the 3171.50, and the value area high for the pre-sessions at the 3277. So, and again, my how my deep charts would look like would be much well, you know what? I should have just stayed down to the 1 minute. Down to the 1 minute here. So, you know, it's just easier for me. It's just, I don't know, it's so much nicer. Pre-session point of control, pre-session value area high. If just everything is, I don't know, I think it's just, it's nicer and better. Even though I think this one is off here by a tick, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. So let me update that on my Ninja Trader here real quick. No, that's not the right one. There we go. That's correct. All right. Nice little bounce there off of the pre-session point of control. Again, kind of a pain in the ass because I got to go in and put all these lines in myself. It's just a pain. This value area low play down here doesn't look terrible at the 3165 to the 3149. You've got the pre-session point of control sitting right above there at the 3172.25. So most likely we can anticipate either bounce right at the value area low. I don't anticipate that. I actually anticipate probably a sweep of this unbalanced volume area and then maybe a reaction right back up to point of control. That is a possibility here this morning. Again, I like to wait at least a good 15-20 minutes to see, to let the New York session kind of play out. But we'll see here what kind of reaction we get when we dip right into this 3165 area. That should be our reactionary point in the market. All right, here's the that test of value area low. Good reaction right there. They just missed that 3165 number, but good reaction right there. That was a play there of about 25 points. And again, pretty simple to spot. If we go into AVT setup again, here's your base of the AVT right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 up. There's your down. Pop your volume profile tool right there. You get some built-in entries, built-in take profits and stop losses. Obviously, my take profit would have been around the pre-session point of control. Just makes the most sense there on the AVT setup. But this is where I identified the unbalanced volume. This was the bigger unbalanced volume sitting here. This was a little bit more detailed here at the 3165, and we can spot that if we drop down in our range. Let's see if we can go to back there. We're gonna have to scroll for this guy. Right there. This is kind of your lower time frame unbalanced volume area off that move to the upside. But like I said, they missed it there by about 3 or 4 points. Now they just might want to run up to value area high once again. Nothing tradable up there for me, really. Again, my biggest area that I am personally excited about is this 30.016 to the 30.008. That's the area where I'd be looking to take this as just a straight limit order here. So we'll see if price action can get down here this morning or not. And again, all my trades here this morning are on the E-minis, so the NQ or the ES, depending on if we do find a setup here on either one that interests me. I think we most likely come right back and retest this. There's a little sliver here of unbalanced volume sitting right up here, but this has got the big probability of sweeping the tops up here. So for me, not the best high probability setup. We already capitalized on the liquidity that was sitting out there already early this morning on that first trade that we ended up taking. Did take a withdrawal from my NinjaTrader cash account. I was telling my Signal members yesterday. Pulled out 3K, which was fantastic. It's been the first time since February that I actually took a withdrawal from NinjaTrader for my NinjaTrader live brokerage account. Got the balance up to a pretty decent number, so I think I was sitting at one point. I think at my high was 15,400. I believe that's what it was. I don't know, it could have been a couple $100 less or more. So balance right now, excuse me, balance right now, where is it here? Control panel. Balance currently sitting at 12,735. So pretty much left the account with about 12 grand in there. And I've brought it up to $735 from that number. So I think what I'll do is every time I get up to like 15K, I'll just take another 3 and just kind of leave that balance at 12K. I think it's more than enough for one E-mini. It's definitely more than enough. I could trade 2 E-minis with and really still stay within my risk kind of profile. Anna, good morning. This is going to be an interesting spot here on the NQ. Like I mentioned, that there is a little bit of unbalanced volume sitting right here, right at this little sliver here. But I personally believe that there's a good possibility that we sweep these tops up here. So my tight risk over here might not be the best play for me this morning. So I'll kind of just leave that one be. And then I'm obviously currently eyeballing. I want to see break of structure up here. So I want to see clean break of structure, and then I'm going to be taking a look at this area right here. There's a good amount of buyer side imbalance right here. So I will, you know, if the market just doesn't come right back down here right now and test it or balance it out. Personally, I would have rather seen them, especially with this volume coming in right here at the top, I would have rather them break out here, break out of this structure right here, and then I can, you know, try to find a trade right here. When it doesn't break structure, in my opinion, the market doesn't have the fuel it needs to break this unbalanced volume area up here. And then typically what it does is it'll do a retracement, get back into its comfort zone for buyers, and then that might be the fuel that they need for the next move to the upside. But again, I like to trade unbalanced volume, and what the market is currently doing in this exact candle right now in real time is balancing out this buyer side volume that came in right here. So this kind of diminishes now, not diminishes, but eliminates the potential trade that I had, which is why it's been so hard for me to trade during Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It was so damn choppy all day that, you know, maybe it was my impatience, but I then started to take trades more out of like the point of control, and I really got killed. Just terrible trading there. You know, definitely want to trade the extremes in in a range-based day, but it's just kind of hard because like the market just kind of came to a, like we're moving at a pretty good clip, and then the market just hit a brick wall and said, okay, we're gonna range for the New York Open. I believe it was on Wednesday. We had about a 55-point fair value area. That's unheard of on the NQ. I mean, typical morning is about 180 points is your fair value. Before you get to value area high, value area low, you typically have about 150, 180 point range. And I saw 55 on Wednesday. And it's not like the ATR was super low. The ATR was still kicking at around 45, 50. So, I mean, it was still moving, but it was just literally a zigzag on a very, very tight rope. And I got chopped up pretty damn good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about it. It was, see how the market just did exactly what how I see it. And it's for me, it's very clear to see. They balance out this unbalanced volume here. I told you guys this is where buyers were sitting at. Okay, personally, I would have rather them seen them tap into this area, the 3165. If they would have tapped into this area, this move might have been a little bit stronger to the upside. But you can see how the volume started to increase here and kind of apexed here at the 71 contract mark here from buyers. But this move, this strong candle here, was not able to break this unbalanced volume area that was sitting right here. Exactly where they just rejected from. This is exactly what I was just talking about. This is where the unbalanced volume was at. So they rejected from there. They didn't have enough strength to break through here. So what the market ends up doing is the market will then come right back down and start to, again, get into its comfort zone for buyers. Let's go back down to here where we know we had some strong buyers come into the market. Let's see if they're willing to reinitiate that type of trade. Well, they did. Did they break structure? No, they still didn't break structure here. They still weren't able to break this unbalanced volume here. So now, how I was showing you guys earlier, I see an area here of unbalanced volume. This isn't important to me anymore because they've already come back down here, sucked the volume from that area, and that volume wasn't even strong enough to break this area right here. And you don't need the bubbles to do all of this. It helps. It helps with volume. It makes it maybe a little bit clearer or easier for you. But you don't need to have the bubbles on your chart. Simple price action is really how all that I've been trading for last 2 years of this strategy. Is just with candles and my volume profile. But it's only been candles. I had never used these bubbles prior to maybe the last 2 months or 3 months. But if I remove the bubbles, I can see the exact same thing. It's the same thing with the candles. You could just, you see it the same exact way. Dip into unbalanced buyer volume. Okay, I already showed you where this came from, where this came from. I showed you where the AVT setup was from this, showing me where the unbalanced volume was at. They dipped into it and they couldn't break it. They couldn't break the structure to the top side. And then they had to retrace back down into that move. That's what I teach in my volume master course class. It's the third step. It's the most important step. It's no wicks into areas that you've identified that are important to you. It's very, very simple. And I say simple in a half-assed way. Nothing is simple, but Yep, we got University of Michigan sentiment coming out at 9 a.m. So in about 6 minutes here. Just trying to figure out where they might want to kind of tap into next. That would make the most sense to me. You know, they left still this pocket down here. This could be a great liquidity spot for the NQ for news to hit. Excuse me. In fact, I can delete this guy here so we don't need to see him anymore. That's what that would look like. All right, about 1 minute and 20 seconds here for news to come out. Again, I mentioned that personally I feel that the market's definitely got this area right here that I can come and target here for news. It's a good amount of liquidity sitting right there. And then obviously we got built-in liquidity sitting right at the tops up here at the 77s. Damn, chump sauce. Don't tell me that, that you're in a short without telling me you're in a short. Chump sauce is hopefully looking for a 250-point drop to the downside. I did, yeah. AP, I did watch. I watched that interview last night. It was interesting. I guess it didn't cover some of the topics that I was really hoping that he would have pressed on a little bit further. Personally, I thought that he could have maybe piggybacked on some of the questions that I would say were kind of left a little, I don't know, ambiguous, I guess. But and personally, when when these podcasters have these prop firm owners on their show, I really think that of value to the viewer and to the traders that are watching those type of podcasts with prop owners. I believe that that the focus of the questions should be centered around, obviously, what's coming up in the future. Okay, like what things are we have to look forward to. What things haven't worked, what things can you transparently say, hey, we messed up on this. He obviously leaned into the fact that self-admittedly the rollout for the live program was not a successful one. But where I really can find value out of having a CEO of a prop firm, especially like a prop firm like Apex, the biggest one in the industry, is give me some insight as to what is the typical funded or live trader. What's their typical profile look like? Like, because they know everything. They've got algorithms and they've got AI working for them. They've got risk management. They've got teams to analyze people's trading habits, their styles. What is the bread and butter of the traders that are successful? Are they at a 1-to-1 risk to reward? Are they a 1-to-4 risk to reward? Are they scalping for 10 points versus are they scalping for 60 or 100 points? The trade duration. How long are these traders that are actually taking payouts in their PA and funded accounts? What's the average duration of a trade? That'll give you a lot of information, right? Because if they tell me that their average duration of a trade for the most successful traders are 15 minutes, then on the NQ, that they're targeting probably about a 100-point move, okay? If they tell me that the average trade duration of the most profitable traders are a minute, 40 seconds to a minute and 20 seconds, we already know that they're most likely going for, 30 points and less, 25-point TP. What does their risk to reward look like? Are they strictly just base hits, 1-to-1? Are they, 1-to-2? Are they 1-to-3? As a trader and as somebody that's watching that podcast, that's where I see where you can provide me value as a prop owner on there. That's what I want to know. That's the things that I want to learn, because those are things that can help you, because you might be back testing things on your own, like what strategy, works the best. Does a 10 or 15 point stop loss with a 40 point take profit, is that the best way to go? Is a 10-point stop loss with a 10-point take profit the best way to go? Is a negative risk to reward a better way to go? You know, and they know that. They know everything. They know it down to the granular level. So, and yeah, I understand what you're saying, that he is an affiliate with Apex, but at the same time, what commercial did he run during the interview? If I was the CEO of Apex and I came onto his show, and you've got, you know, probably the most well-known, maybe besides Top Step, maybe the most well-known CEO of a prop firm, and you cut to a commercial at the 10-minute mark, and it's a commercial for Alpha Futures. So I get it. I get it that he's an affiliate and he wants to get paid, but at the same time, he's proving that, you know, yeah, I'm affiliate with Apex, but I'm still promoting Alpha, because he obviously has a really good marketing deal with Alpha to provide him with those outro commercials or whatever you want to call them. So that doesn't mean squat to me. You know, if you've got a podcast built on transparency and built on tough questions, the fact that he's an affiliate partner shouldn't matter in the questions that he asks. And if it does, then you shouldn't be bringing him on. You should just keep focusing on, you know, profitable traders or traders that have a strategy that, you know, are interesting, new, something a different, you know, maybe a different style, a different type of look at the market, different styles of trading. You know, some people like swing trading, some people like intraday, some people like scalping, some people like micro scalping. You know, I think the focus has been probably a lot around like algorithm trading, where personally I think the everyday retail trader is probably not getting a ton of value out of that. And don't be the one that comes on the comment and says, hey, I love those episodes. I love them too. I love watching them because I love staying on top of those things. But again, for the average retail trader that's trading a 50K Apex account, they're probably not diving into algorithmic trading. Now, is it nice to know maybe some of the basic concepts behind what an algo is coded to look for? Fuck yeah, that would be awesome. No one's going to share that, but it would be great to have at least some basic insights on it. So I see the focus has gone that route for sure. You know, ICT, a lot of ICT traders are on those podcasts. Now we've started to see more volume-based traders on those, you know, spotting absorption, using footprints, the volume profile, the gamma levels. You know, those seem to be now the kind of the order flow, I would say, is probably the hottest topic in futures trading over the last 12 months, where I think it's probably overtaken ICT as far as like the hot buzzword of, you know, trading is order flow, which order flow has obviously been around since the beginning of the markets, but it's really started to catch steam. And again, if you want to be real, who's the one that most likely created the supreme popularity in order flow? It's got to be the Fabio guy. He's done multiple podcasts with multiple streamers, multiple influencers. He's had successful live trading sessions on screen. He talks out kind of like how I talk out where I see, you know, what am I looking for? What are the areas where it's going to bounce at? You know, why do I feel afraid of, you know, maybe taking a short up here, which obviously would have ended up working nicely. But, you know, I think the order flow buzzword has really been popularized by Fabio and the videos that have come out. Now, have those videos in the last 90 days now kind of started talking like a commercial? Yeah. You could definitely say that, you know, his videos have been more commercialized because he's trying to sell a platform. Him and Andre are both, you know, actively participating in deep charts, so they they want they're selling a platform as well. So, you know, that's why they're doing all of these appearances. But I think he made order flow popular for sure. And then, you know, there's some other traders that have been around for a long time that have been trading volume profile. Well, the 100K account, J-Loves, is a pretty good deal. I believe that one's 59 all in, including the activation. So, I mean, for the amount of drawdown you get, I do believe it's a pretty good option with Apex right now. Personally, I think I would go a different route, depending on where you're at in your trading career, or where you're kind of starting out, how much capital you might have to invest. I've been talking about them on the live stream. I know it's really never talked about in the industry much, but I don't see anything wrong with the 25K accounts. I really don't. I think the 25Ks are really the sleepers of the industry. If you really look at the rules on the 25K, it's your easiest way to get a payout. If you're looking for $1,000 payout, it's going to be your easiest option. If you are slightly disciplined, if you are a slightly disciplined trader, if you do revenge trade, it is not the account for you. Stick to a 50K or 100K if you know that that's going to creep in. But if you're a disciplined trader, you've got maybe a 10-point, you got a strategy that calls for a 10 or 15-point stop loss with a 10 or 15-point take profit. You could take a $1,000 payout in a 25K account in 6 or 7 days. And I know you could do it on the 50Ks, but again, the 50Ks are, I don't know. I just think that there's this, for some traders, there's this mental barrier, you know, of that $3,000 profit target, or maybe more like $3,500 profit target, to really be able to take a nice payout and still leave a nice buffer in there. There's a few firms that I would say offer, I think, the best 25Ks. TraderRob, I would probably start with TraderRob. There's a new firm that's been emailing me. I mean, I get firms constantly emailing me about, you know, being an affiliate with them. And then, to be honest with you, I don't remember their name now. Maybe if I look at my email, they had an interesting 25K account. It was instant funded though. So again, there's instant funded, and then there's the eval side to it. But like, if you just look at it from a basic math, okay? Basic math should look like this. You got your 25K account, right? Let's say you just do the eval side of that. Okay, the eval. So the eval is going to probably end up costing you, let's just say on average, depending on what firm you're going to go with, let's just say $50. It's going to be less with some, it's going to be more with others, but let's just say 50. And then let's add another, I don't know, $50, $45 to $50, just to get it to a round number. We'll say for the activation. So you're all in on the eval on a 25K, you're in for $100, maybe a little less. And remember, a 50K is not going to cost you much more than this, so don't go in the comments and say, well, why don't we just go for a 50K? That's not the point. The point of the 25Ks is the profit targets. So we already know what our investment would be on an eval. Okay, now let's just say that we switch to a 25K instant funded. So, and this is going to be instant, which is going to cost you right now on TraderRob $209. Or it might be $204, but I think it's $209. all in. Okay, so from day one, you're trading this account on a funded level. Okay, still in sim, but in a funded level. Now, what do people hate about the instant funded accounts is the 20% consistency rule. Okay, very tight, very, very tight. I'll explain to you how you get around the 20% the 20% consistency rule in a second. So you've got $109 investment here more, right? So just watch this with the math really quick. It's $109 more expensive to get the instant funded. You can go the eval route for $109 less and get a better consistency score. So you might have here like a 35 all the way up to maybe like a 50% consistency, depending on what firm and what account you're looking at. So you've got more flexibility up here. It's cheaper up here, right? So this is why everybody's always attracted to these accounts. I get it. But what do you need to do in this account? Okay, what do you need to do in this eval account to get funded? Well, you got to make $1,500. Okay, in fake sim, in a sim environment, you got to make $1,500 in profit for you then to be funded. What do you need to do in this 25K instant funded to actually get a payout? You need to make $1,500. Okay, so just stick with me here. It's $109 more money. It's less consistency, so that sucks. It's 20% consistency. My profit target's $1,500. For me to get this account up here, which is great, 35 to 50% consistency, maybe no consistency, cheaper, I still need to make $1,500, guys, just to get funded, just to be at zero, If you make the $1,500 to get funded, why not take $1,000 payout on this side when you make the $1,500 from your eval that you have up here? The only negative to this is the $109 more upfront. I get that not every trader has the same capital to start with, so I'm being very broad stroke here. But again, it's not that big of a difference. And then lastly, how do we get past this 20% consistency rule that everybody's always like bitching about? So we need to make $1,500, right? Let's just say your average trade on the NQ is 10 points. Okay. You've got a $200 risk, a $200 take profit. Okay. On this 25K account, you only have $1,000 of drawdown. Okay. So much less than your 50K, but stick with me here for a second. If your risk is $200 and you've got $1,000 drawdown, I know already from day one that the maximum that I can have is 5 losers. I can have 5 losing trades, one after the other, after the other, after the other. Below my account, I lost my $209. Okay. Now let's look at it from the flip side. Let's say that you've got a $200 take profit. I put 2,000, but it's not 2,000. $200 take profit, 10 points on the NQ. It's going to give you $200. Well, what do we need to get to this $1,500 take profit? We're going to need 8 winners. Okay, 8 winners will get you to $1,600. You're going to be at about a 18.9% consistency score, somewhere in that ballpark. And you take the $1,000 payout. It's the same model as the eval, but it gives you, I think, for newer traders, somebody that just needs a payout, somebody that wants to get their first payout to get something, maybe to fund their live account. We're getting some nice price action, so let me get off of this. And again, that's why I think that those accounts are so strong.
or I should say sleepers. All right, so let's see what the NQ could do here. We're about 10 minutes away from initial balance to be set, and it looks like we're going to be kind of banging our head against the initial balance here, at least from the low side. Unless we get another retracement back up. Sellers are kind of in a little weird type of predicament right here as well. We obviously got that buying volume that came in right from this, right from the area that I mentioned to you guys, where buyers were still unbalanced down here. So there was some good buying strength right here. This is kind of a little tricky of a spot here just because of what just came in on volume. I don't necessarily trust this move to the upside here, though. What I could trust is if we could break down here now, if we could break down here, that would show me some strength from sellers. Not a huge fan of this wick right here, as long as we don't get them too much more up. What we'll do is we'll then look in this area here to see what we can find that's unbalanced. We already see that there is a good amount of trapped buyers up there, but let's see if they don't retrace this move right now. Even though we did have a mini break of structure right here, didn't really break with a big conviction. J-Loves, on the example that I showed you on the 25K, it would still be with a E-mini. Because, you know, depending on your strategy, guys, okay? So if you're targeting 30 to 40 points, then you can't be trading on an E-mini. My example of controlled risk would be maximum of $200 risk per trade. And that would mean a 10-point take profit and a 10-point stop loss on the NQ. Now, if you want to spread your 5 losers into 10 losers, then you can go down to 5 micros and make your risk $100 on the stop loss and $100 on the take profit. That'll give you 10 losing trades. Vice versa, you're going to need 16 winning trades to get to a payout. So it's whatever your trading style is and what you personally prefer. All right, so this unbalanced area up here looks like shit. And
There's nothing there either for us to really contemplate there, unfortunately. So again, what I'm interested in the most this morning would be right here at the 30.016 to the 30.008. Again, I'm going to have a limit order resting here if we can get price action somewhere sitting coming close to there. But they still got to break through this buyer unbalanced volume area. They're just kind of churning through it right now. We are in value area low right now territory, so we'll see if how price discovery goes down here. So the New York value area low is sitting up here, pre-session value area low, which is where they've been kind of having this fight at, is sitting down here. So we'll see. It already looks like they're pretty established in this price discovery down here. So let's see if they want to make that continued push to the downside. And again, it would be retracing a decent size of the move from yesterday. I think on the wrong chart, but it would be, you know, if they can get down to this area, this would be retracing, I think, close to 3/4 of the move from yesterday, which again would be pretty strong from sellers. I think they're going to have, it's not going to be an easy time to get that done. I'm going to use the washroom really fast. I'll be right back. So you can see that the sellers here kind of threw the kitchen sink at it right there. Buyers absorbed that move, so getting down to kind of the Globex sessions low yesterday. Actually, our daily low should be there. I don't know why my daily low's not showing up. $31.24.50. $31.24.50. Put this one in red. That's our current low from the Globex session to now. Again, no initial balance trade for me here at 9:30 because, again, we were kind of banging our head against the IB low here. So that to me is a lot lower probability than the IB high that's going to be sitting right up here. This high right here is going to be your initial balance at the 280.75. That would seem to me like a more interesting trade idea up there. Yeah, it's definitely a nice little push here by sellers for sure. Again, not crazy volatility. We're at about 35 on the 5-minute ATR. Just sitting up here on the left-hand side of your chart up here. Yeah, you're right, Bob. ES has been on a pretty tight range here this morning as well. We have a nice little area here that's kind of interesting here. Let's see if it's got enough space to run. Don't know it does. This did look interesting right here for kind of a short down here at the 31.96. We also had value area low for the New York session that was sitting right here, but it's actually moved down now to about the 90s right over here. Maybe an area here that market might want to test the sellers out right there. I'll leave that up on the chart. We already know that they've got liquidity that they can come after right here at the 31.24s. We tested that pre-session value area low right there, which they've rejected. And it does look like they do have some of these sellers trapped right here, so we'll see if they let them loose or not. Or if their buddies from over here come in and help them out. Let's run a quick poll and just want to get a gauge on, just to see if the market's been as difficult for you guys as it's been for me. Monday through Wednesday. Yesterday was a nice day. I mean, I love the price action from yesterday. Just made trading a lot easier. All right, let's get a gauge here of the viewership on how this week has gone for you guys, red or green. So far, Red's coming in pretty strong, 77% with 13 votes coming in. So let's see if we get a bigger sample size here. And while you're answering the poll, if you can hit the like button on the stream, I'd appreciate that as well, greatly. Yeah, my bad day was Wednesday for sure. Wednesday was a travesty. And the problem is that I went into Wednesday, Tuesday with a good game plan. You know, I talked myself into a decent game plan, and that game plan went to shit real fast. I told myself trade the extremes, and I don't know why, I just got absolutely mesmerized by point of control areas that just not have been And another issue that I definitely realized was I was trading the footprint confirmations too much. And the only problem with the footprint confirmations, or really any type of candlestick confirmation, if your strategy's got like a built-in, you know, candle confirmation, maybe you're looking for fair value gap, for inverse value gap. Well, regardless of what type of confirmation you're looking for, when you've got a fair value range of 50 points and you're also asking for a confirmation on either a footprint or a candle, you're giving up maybe 15 points, 7 points, 20 points, depending on what strategy you have for that confirmation. And you've already given up the 15 to 20 points that the market's going to want to trade in that range. So you might see a sliver of profit and then it snaps back at you, goes the other direction, which was so prevalent in the first 3 days of trading this week. So I think that hurt me. That was one thing I definitely put into my journal, that, you know, if, again, you know, people can say, you know, like they say, you could have a great plan until you get punched in the face. You can go in thinking you've got, you know, maybe a bias on the day, or maybe you identified that you're in a range, it breaks out a little bit, then you kind of shift focus into, hey, maybe this is going to be a little bit more trending, and it's just not trending. It just swept the bottom of the range and it's going to go right back to the top of the range. And I think that was exactly where I got hurt the most. So we're currently at 69 votes on red for the week. So I guess that gets pretty close to what I was thinking. For those of you that are green, I applaud you guys. I think that either you showed incredible discipline, or guess that's it. You showed incredible discipline. Maybe you focused in on a setup, or maybe you're more of a range-based trader instead of like more of a trending traders. Even, I mean, there was a lot of reversals, so it's like it's hard to say that the reversal strategies didn't work, but they kind of didn't, because it's like the reversals wouldn't really break structure. They wouldn't have any momentum behind them. So it was tough. I said it yesterday a few times. It just felt like 3 straight days of of holiday, bank holiday type of trading, half day. SDRO 37.8 said that he skipped Wednesday, stayed green. If I would have skipped Wednesday, I would have been, with yesterday's trade, it would have been an extremely nice week. Because even though I will give myself credit, on Tuesday, I think I was down 375 Monday and Tuesday, and both brought them back. I think on Monday I had a very small loss, and then on Tuesday I brought it back to like a $25 loss. But Wednesday just fucking got me good. Got me real good. Chump Sauce, very good discipline with this new strat this week using the 2-minute chart. I'd love to hear about it, buddy. Give me a quick summary on what the strategy looks like. And you don't have to give away your secret sauce if you don't want to, but I give away my secret sauce every day. So if you want to share, gives us something to look at here while we're waiting for price action to do something that's worth looking at. And more importantly, I love to read about strategies, watch videos on strategies. I'm a nerd when it comes to that, for sure. Thala made it into the stream. Cash, I believe Thala won. I think you won maybe either a Lucid or an Apex account, if I'm not mistaken. Or did you win Cash Profit Friday? I want to say you might have won Cash Profit Friday last week, Thala. Could be wrong. Maybe it was an Apex or a Lucid giveaway. Ah, okay, I remember. Yeah, you won Cash Profit Friday last week. Smaller amount than it would be today if it stands at where it's currently at. Hopefully I can take another trade here, but I think we're currently looking at like a little over $100 this morning for a viewer, which is a little bit more than a lunch. I think last week was a lunch. Think you took home $26? Probably good enough for a decent lunch. Maybe a Panera if you want to get fancy. Now you might be able to... I'm trying to think of a nice place for dinner for $100. I'm taking my wife. I know that that's not going to be accomplished. She's got good taste. She's got an expensive taste when it comes to food. I can't even think of a decent... We don't really go to any chain restaurants for dinner, so... I can only give you like local good places. But it's enough for a nice dinner. Who knows? I might lose it all. I might be red and I have to ask you guys for a bump. Rob, you should have a rule that we can't have repeat winners within 4 weeks. Well, AP, my thought process on that is I love to spread the wealth and spread the goodness. But you know what? If there's anybody that I'm going to value, it's going to be somebody that comes back every single week, every single day, like so many of you do. I know there's a bunch of people that come on Fridays just to see if I make some money so that they have a chance. But if you look at the names that post, and I know not everybody posts every day or says, you know, good morning or whatever, which I do appreciate. I value that. I value people coming back. So to be quite frank with you, the logistics side of running a giveaway, if there's somebody there that says thanks, it's the most relieving thing in the world, because then I don't have to, you literally have to start the entire process over again. I got to go back into the site, load up the stream, load up the comments, get all the settings right, redo it, put the timer back on, see if there's a winner or somebody claims it. So I get what you're saying, 100% AP, but it just makes life easier. And then I would have to go back in my records to see who won the last, 3-4 times, or... And then a program note: I don't know about Tuesday next week for my live streams. Tuesday is the day that we move in. We officially move in my son, so he will officially not be a permanent resident in my household anymore, which is going to be a very, very sad day for me. And apparently, we will find out Monday evening what time slot he gets for his move-in. So if it's a little bit later in the afternoon, then I can do my live stream in the morning. But if it's going to be early morning, I'm going to probably have to skip the stream on Tuesday. But at least we'll be able to golf. So we get there tomorrow, and then be able to golf with him on probably Sunday. And go get a few more last minute things that he might need, and do the transfer of ownership to the college. All right, let's see what Chump Sauce has to say here. I was looking for a 30 to 35 point loss for a 100 point take profit. Okay. Last 2 weeks ran data on it. This week my 100 points was not hitting right on. Tuesday I got out early, scared. Tweaked it to 35 point stop with a 57 point take profit. I like the detailness of 57 points. 7 to 8 micros, move stop, break even. But what's the trigger? What is it that you're... Okay, let's see. They're popping into liquidity there at the 31.24s. Disco Kid in the chat. Morning. Tiger Trades, good morning, bud. Chump Sauce, what's been your back testing? First of all, I would like to know what you're actually looking for, though, to take a short or a long based on the criteria you gave. But what's been your back testing And again, 2 weeks is kind of a small sample size because you're kind of looking at extreme volatility that we've seen, you know, prior to 5 days ago, and then, you know, 4 days of minus yesterday. Yesterday probably, you know, different story, but we had good 4 straight days of pretty crummy price action where I could see where your 100-point target there is going to be. It's actually going to be very difficult. Oh, okay. So kind of a momentum breakout type of strategy right off of the open. Would you wait for the first minute candle to close, or would you literally be right in at the open? And then would you have bracket orders set to get you into either a short or a long, or do you go in with a directional bias off the open? So now that you've told me the nuts and bolts, I can see where now where your stop and profits are coming from, and it's probably needed. Probably not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but on a normal NQ day. And I believe you're at a 1 to 2 risk to reward, maybe a 1 to 3. No, 1 to 2. So you just, in that scenario like that, like I know you mentioned that you got scared on a trade, which I don't blame you. You know, I mean, I'm critiquing from behind a desk here that, you know, goes through the same issues. But on a strategy like that, it's really important to hold on to your winners to full take profit, because you know, it's the rule. It's everybody's okay with their stop loss getting hit. So many of us are not okay with waiting for our full take profit to get hit. And it's pure battle scars. It's the scars where you miss your TP by a point or two just to see it go break even, or worse off, hitting your stop loss. And then, you know, when you're someone like me that's trading live in front of people, you'll get, you know, comments, you know, you're green, never let a, what do they say? Never let a winning position ever go red on you. Okay, let's see you do that. Let's see you do that in a real cash live environment. Not in a sim environment. But those are battle scars. Those are battle scars that will show up. And but on a strategy like that, where it's really data driven, it's really important to take the losses. Because if you take the loss, it's because you stayed in the trade the entire way. Because another thing too is that when you backtest a strategy, you're not backtesting fear. You're not backtesting greed. You're not backtesting emotion. You're backtesting data. So in the data is very straightforward. And if the data is telling you 100 points is your TP, then that's what you have to stick with. Now, unless you've got a filter, you know, you can have an ATR, maybe a daily ATR filter, and see if the ATR is crept up or down and kind of move your TPs accordingly. But, and again, I'm critiquing sitting behind a chair that has the same issues. It's keeping winners a little longer. I've been doing much better at it. I've been honestly doing much better on it. You know, if you watch the trade from yesterday, if you watch my trade here from yesterday again, let's see here. Watch in the beginning part of this. In the beginning part of this, watch my You see that? You see how I moved my TP down from 825 to 675? That was me, and then you see me move. This is sped up like drastically. This trade took a good amount of time to complete. But you saw how I moved my stop loss, right? And then I moved it right back. I'm like, you know what? No, I was looking at a liquidity wall on my book map that was sitting at the 51s. I remember it as if we were looking at it from yesterday. So looking at the 51s, I said I'm going to put it a few points below that. You'll see my TP here, because I get scared. I'm like, all right, I just want to guarantee some profits. So I put it a little lower at 675. I then tell myself, I think I even told my signal members, what the hell am I doing? I'm going to keep my TP exactly where it's at. And, and those are the ones that help you, because look at the difference. Oh, and here's another example. Let me turn this off. Another example is that I was currently down at that point, I think 125 bucks. Okay. So then what I would have done is I would have taken my TP that was sitting at 825, lowered it to 625, which essentially would have been $200 less. Then you take off the $125 from the previous loss that had a 1 to 2 risk to reward that I lost on. And I then get into that trade. If I would have kept my TP lower, yesterday would have looked much different in totality. It would have looked like maybe a $400 or a $390 winning day versus a $625 winning day. So it's every point that you can squeak out that makes sense. Okay, everything's got to make sense, and I know that's the hard part to say because that's the discretionary side, but like for me, I feel really comfortable when I've got a target that is volume based, like a natural magnet for the market. I get super excited about those. But at the minimum, I want to see 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2 risk to reward. It looks like they've kind of accepted this area here. Sellers have accepted it. Buyers were trying to defend it. It looks like we are trying to now break down from there. And again, the next natural area for them to want to go target is where I'm looking at. It's going to be this this area down here at the 30.037s. At least that's where this is where all of the buying pressure is currently at. And that was from that big move yesterday. So like a good example on this trade over here that I'd be looking at. In fact, we could probably set this one up for us. It would look something like this. Buy click. Let's pop this guy in at the 50. So we'd be looking at about, I think it's about 8 or 9 points of risk here. Yeah. And then our TP. Let's keep that right around here for right now. So that's a good at least 1 to 2 risk to reward there on that trade. Yeah. That's about right. But again, we got to let price action get there. And that's a good little sign right there from sellers. Nothing's really been impulsive today, which, you know, besides this little chunk up here that I have labeled, that I have blocked out. That's actually not right. 29. 29. There it is. That's a little less than what I wanted there, but it'll have to do. You can see the ES churned through this. The beginning of the morning, I told you this is where buyers were currently at. They had a hell of a time getting through there, but they finally now are trying to do some price discovery down here. As of right now, shorts seem to be in temporary control. J-Loves, I'll be probably shortly after the giveaway is done here at 10:30. We'll call it a day. We go every day till about 11 o'clock. So from 7 to like about 11. Sometimes we go to 11:30. We've gone into noon. But shit, that's almost 5 hours. I mean, that's kind of a long time to focus in on charts. But depending on, if there's a setup that's coming up that we want to either invalidate or validate. So next week we got FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday. Trump's talking on the 14th. Wednesday. All right. Sorry, I had to get a little bite to eat there. I was kind of famished here this morning. All right, guys, 10:30. So, wow, we came pretty close here of tapping into that 30.016. Did a good job here of tapping into the first part of the unbalanced volume here. All right, so let's see what we got here. We've got, what's our profit at? 420 bucks at 25%. Is 105 bucks is up for grabs here today. So let me get the giveaway up and running here. Give me 1 second. YouTube. Paste. All right, one winner. Spinning. No duplicates. And hashtag is cash. Confirm. Let's get the timer ready here. Remember, you're going to have a 2-minute timer. All you got to do is just type in the word thanks on the chat. All right, here we go. Good luck, everybody. Decent amount of profit. I think might be able to pay for a dinner. If you haven't done so already, I would appreciate if you guys can like the stream. And again, if you're going to be using any of the prop firms like Tradeify, Lucid, or Apex, if you could use code TraderRob, I would appreciate that as well. All right, here we go. Good luck. All right, new winner, Duckling S7D7K. Duckling S7D7K. You've got 2 minutes starting right now. All you've got to do is type in the word thanks into the chat, and you'll be taking home 105 bucks. Just remember, you need to have Venmo, PayPal, or Zelle to receive the funds. Duckling S7D7K. Thanks. Perfect. You guys made it easy on me. I appreciate that. Ducklings, stick around here, and I will put a. I'll give you a chat message here really quickly. Duckling. All right, Duckling, there's a, take a look at the chat right there. Send me a quick email, and once I get your email, I will get you all set up with your funds. You got it. All right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the trading session here today. Had a fun time with you guys today. I know the trade, first trade was pretty early in the morning, maybe 5 minutes after the live stream started. But nice day of profits, and hopefully we get a winning trade right here at our limit order at the 30.016.50. So with that being said, have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you guys on Monday, and take care, everybody. And don't forget to like the stream.